All right. My name is Pat McAndrew. I am a guidance counselor at St. Patrick High School and also a sophomore soccer coach. I played high school soccer all 4 years at Father Ryan High School in Nashville, Tennessee. I went to Xavier University where I was a walk-on to the soccer team. Came to Chicago and went to Loyola Chicago for grad school and got a job at St. Pat's where I coach and I'm a guidance counselor now, as I said before. I view coaching, I think it's very important as a coach to strike a balance between being an authoritarian type of coach versus, or along with that being also fun at the same time. I think it's really important for coaches to set very clear expectations, have the guys set their own goals, and uphold them to that. I don't think it needs to be entirely strict and regimented. However, I also think it's a good idea for the guys to have fun at the same time. So trying to strike a balance between being serious and authoritative and fun at the same time. As for my own coaching, I think that's kind of where my philosophy came from. I had a mix of coaches who were really laid back and kind of let us play on our own, do our own thing. And then as I got into college, the expectations started to rise. There was a lot more that we had to do as student athletes at Xavier. The whole idea of being a student athlete was a big deal. Our fitness tests were a big deal, so we were always expected to be performing, even in the off season as well. So like I said before, yeah, I've had kind of a mix of coaching experiences from my own personal coaches. The procedures that I've experienced in playing soccer with respect to coaches and athletes, or the athletes being injured, every program I've been in, there's always been an athletic trainer on staff who coordinates with orthopedic doctors at a hospital nearby. So the procedure is that it's up to the coaches and the athletes to be on the same page. If they feel like there's something wrong, they contact the athletic trainer at the school, and they come in and get evaluated by the trainer. Based on what the trainer thinks that he can handle and his qualifications in addressing the issue, he would refer out to the most a doctor in any of those situations. I myself had some personal experiences with being injured while playing soccer at Xavier, as well as playing at my high school. Procedure at my high school, I myself had a couple concussions that I went through. I wasn't as educated about concussions at that point in time in my life, so I took them as to be, just headaches and didn't really talk to anybody about it until after the fact. So when it comes to my coach being aware of it, it was kind of up to me to be letting him know that I was in that situation, and I think it was a lack of education that kind of contributed to that. When I got to Xavier, I broke my foot as well as contracted compartment syndrome. I had two separate injuries while I was at Xavier. And those are pretty clear-cut issues. I experienced enough pain where I couldn't run around on my foot anymore, and so one of the trainers took me to the hospital, got an X-ray on my foot, and it was very clearly broken. So at that point in time, I was under a particular set of rules. I met with the trainer every single day after I had surgery to get my range of motion back, keep my fitness level up, so when I got actually back to playing, I didn't hurt myself again by not being fit enough to play. So it was a very well laid out plan with my rehabilitation after I was injured. My second injury was a little bit different. Being with the trainers, they had never experienced the injury that I had had at that point in time. So it was a little bit more, it was less certain how I went through that process. Once it was finally identified what I had, became a lot more easier, but there was some uncertainty, like I said before, when it came to how I got injured and how I went through going through that. But like I said before too, I myself have been in a few situations where coaches have played guys with certain types of injuries. I think my experience coaching now at St. Patrick's is a little bit different when it comes to concussions. As soon as a concussion comes into play, guys are taken out immediately, and they have to be evaluated not only by the trainer but also with a doctor at a nearby hospital as well. But my own personal experience, guys have played, but they've played under situations where the injury was minor. They could still play, and in those situations, the guys were well aware of what they were, encountering, and they were making that choice themselves. The coach wasn't forcing them in any situation to play. It was collaboration on the trainer's part and the coach's part. Decisions were made, whether or not the other athlete was going to play or not. So my opinion of the situation when it comes to being injured and having coaches play, I have heard of those situations. I haven't personally been in them, but the situations where guys are playing injured, like I said before, they are aware of what the situation is. If the injury becomes too major, then they're taken out and not allowed to play. And then in the case of concussions as well too, that's a situation now where I've had a lot of experiences where athletes are taken out immediately, regardless of that particular type of situation.